Hello and welcome to In Touch with Durham County, the show designed to give you information about Durham County government, people, programs, and services. I'm Deborah Craig-Ray, General Manager of Strategic Planning and Innovation. We're here with you virtually, socially distancing, and bringing you important information. Today, we're so pleased to have as our guest Commissioner Heidi Carter. Commissioner, I am looking forward to our conversation today.
Well, hi, Deborah. I'm looking forward to it, too.
The clerk to the board assists county commissioners with duties, including maintaining official documents, preparing agendas, and much more. In our second segment, we'll be joined by Monica Wallace, who is the Durham County Clerk to the Board of Commissioners. So, Commissioner Carter, let's begin our conversation. I was looking back at our records, and I noticed the last time you were on our show, and we were in person, it was around early 2017 when you had just joined the Board of Commissioners. I think you were on with former Commissioner Hill, and you were on as our new commissioners. Do you remember that?
I do indeed. I also was thinking back to the last time we did this taping and was remembering that exact experience and how fun it was actually to have a colleague join me, together. And we were both new, and I took comfort in having him at my side.
Yeah, I remember that.
We had a good conversation we had a good conversation that day. I can remember you asking, what was it like being a new commissioner, and what sorts of boards and commissions are you on, and how busy did that keep you, which was why I thought we might talk a little bit about some of my board and commission assignments and how they really affect policymaking and the work that we do as commissioners.
Yep. Well, you have a good memory, and indeed, I do plan for us to get into that topic. So for those who are new to Durham, if you wouldn't mind giving us just a little bit of a background about your elected work in our community. I know Durham County Commission was not the first board that you were elected to.
Okay, sure. Yes, before I was a Durham County Commissioner, I served for 12 years on the Durham Public Schools Board of Education, starting in 2004 to 2016. I have 4 children. They were all in the public school system during those years. And I cut my teeth, so to speak, on education policy. I loved that work. I love being a strong advocate for our public schools. I think they're just the foundation of our community. But because of my enjoyment of the policy making in the education world, it just piqued my interest in perhaps serving as a county commissioner. And one big reason for that is because I quickly learned that no matter how amazing our teachers are and how strong our school system is, there are so many other social services and needs that our families and our kids in our community have, and those needs need to be met so children can succeed in school and thrive and reach their potential. And the county is responsible for providing so many of those essential services. So that just really, spurred an interest within me to serve as a county commissioner.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, please share with us how you approach your role as a commissioner. I know, like your fellow commissioners, you serve on many boards and commissions. Can you share which boards and commissions you are currently serving on?
Oh, yes, sure. We must have 40 to 50 different boards and commissions, and the board chair, once elected, assigns us to these boards and commissions. She or he, whoever the chair may be, almost always asks us for some input on that. And so we get some of our first choices. We might get some that aren't our top choice, but I love the ones I'm assigned to. And I'm assigned to 10. And so I wrote them down because I wouldn't be able to remember them otherwise. but I serve on the Alliance board. That's the board that oversees the provision of publicly funded mental and behavioral health services here in Durham. I serve on the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee, the Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, the Community Child Protection and the Child Fatality Prevention Task Force, the Durham Arts Council, the Environmental Affairs Board, the Farmland Protection Board, the Piedmont Food Processing Center, the Triangle J Council of Governments, and the Homeless Services Advisory Committee, and also their Policy and Planning Subcommittee. So those are my main committee and commission assignments.
Yeah, such variation there. So if you don't mind, mention a couple of the really key issues that are more or less on the front burner of those boards.
Okay. I thought about this, Deborah, and I thought that I might select 3 that are working currently on policies or initiatives that have truly informed the work that we do as a board of commissioners. Because I wanted it to be very clear to our residents that this is a way they can truly have an impact on their community. This is a way that their volunteerism and dedication can really make our community stronger through service on these boards and commissions. And I selected 3, and I wanted to talk about some of the policy work that their advocacy led us to do as county commissioners. Does that sound good? Okay.
Oh, yes.
So first of all, I wanted to just mention the Environmental Affairs Board. So I've been on that board now for 5 years, and early in my tenure, they were working on advocacy to encourage the city council and the county commission to adopt more renewable energy, working to combat climate change. And this board, the members of this board, they did a lot of research. They looked at best practices. They interacted with the city staff and the county staff that work on these issues. And they came forward to us with a recommendation that we adopt a renewable energy resolution. They encouraged us to be very aggressive in our goal setting. And so we did adopt a resolution, I believe it was in 2016, that we as Durham County Government within our operations would move to 80% renewable energy by 2030 and 100% renewable energy by 2050. Very aggressive goals. And I'm just thrilled to say that just very recently, maybe at our last meeting, we as a Board of Commissioners not only adopted that resolution, but, after some work, doing feasibility studies to see how we might reach these goals, we responded to our staff who came to us with some recommendations and some proposals for how we might reach these goals, and we adopted a renewable energy plan now for how we are going to meet our goals. There were several, very exciting. There were several scenarios. We picked the most aggressive one to help us get to that point as quickly as feasibly possible. So that's very exciting. And it's, a direct result of the work that citizens did that were assigned to our board, the Environmental Affairs Board. So that's one example. Another example is a policy that we have yet to adopt or really even to begin working on ourselves. But that's because there's been a lot of work behind the scenes being done through the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. Yeah. When I was a new commissioner here again, I remember there were citizens who were contacting us. Usually I would get these contacts because I'm assigned to this commission. It was concerned citizens about the feral cat population. So sort of a wild cat
remember
population.
That one.
Okay. And over the past several years, the members of this board have been doing research how are other communities handling this situation where there are large populations of community cats. How can we do a better job of managing the population growth of these cats? How can we reduce and stabilize the population of the community cats and stop their breeding cycle? Because the way that we're doing it now is not effective. The way we do it now is there's some trapping and then we have to put these animals to sleep, and we want to have a more humane approach. And so does our public.
That's right.
And so they have now put together, working with our attorney Darby, a draft ordinance that will be coming to us very soon for how we can have a policy that's called trap, vaccinate, neuter, and then return. And these are policies that have worked in other communities, and we will have to work and collaborate with partners to make this work here in Durham. But I hope our board will adopt this. I know it's been presented to us, and there was a lot of interest in it, and I believe a lot of support for it. So it will be interesting. Stay tuned to see how that unfolds. And then I have one more example. If you want to hear one more, do we have time for one more?
Yes, quickly.
Okay. The third example is also something that will be coming to us, and it's from the Homeless Services Advisory Committee. We hear often in our community about the need for affordable housing, and we're asked always, what are we doing to address the affordable housing crisis? Why don't we require developers to include more affordable units? Well, we cannot do that in North Carolina. Inclusionary zoning is not allowed. But what we can do, and what we are doing as a county, is we're building affordable units. We're building apartments wrapping parking decks. So we're building 2 new parking decks for our own staff, but they're not any ordinary parking decks. They're wrapped in housing, and within this housing, we have been able to require that a certain percentage of those units are affordable to those making 60% and 30% of the area median income. So that it was, something, again, a direct result of advocacy from Homeless Services Advisory Committee and advocates in our community. It's just really gratifying for me as a commissioner to be on these boards, work and see the devotion that our residents have for the work that they do on these commissions, and then have it come forward to us and have it be translated into policy. It's really great. It's, democracy at its finest in local government.
And we have some wonderful citizens that bring innovative ideas, and your board really works to hear them out and to move forward. One of the things I did want to ask you about is how you all adjusted when we had to move to a Zoom platform, and do you think we'll be moving back to in-person meetings anytime soon?
I expect that we certainly will be as soon as possible. I know that some of the boards and commissions are already being surveyed to see what their members think and how they're feeling about moving back to in-person meetings. And I also know that the commissioners, we ourselves are eager to get back to in-person meetings. As a matter of fact, we were planning to do that at the beginning of the year, and then the Omicron surge happened, and we, decided, and rightly so, to go back to virtual or to remain virtual until the community transmission rate becomes lower. Right now, we're still at numbers that are considered significant community transmission. But we are eager to start again. But I do think these meetings have been very effective virtually. And honestly, in some ways, it has made, it's opened up opportunities for more people to participate. Citizens can participate even if they're not members by watching these meetings. And I think more people probably watch virtually than attended in person. So that's an interesting, perhaps positive side effect.
Yeah. I agree. Well, our time has really moved today. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our viewers?
Just, how lucky I feel to be able to do this work. It's a gift to me to get to serve our community this way. And one of my favorite parts is working with the citizens on these boards and commissions. And I just really encourage anyone who has any interest in local government to consider serving in this way. It's just a very meaningful way to give back to your community. And we as commissioners are so indebted to our citizens for the work that they do and for the advocacy that they bring forward to us. It makes our policy decisions stronger.
Yeah. Well, I really would like to thank you so much for your service on behalf of our community. I mean, clearly your passion for this work shines through, and we are really fortunate to have you serving us.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. You guys, the Durham County staff are the true heroes. You're the ones that are doing the real work. We're cheering you on and trying to be sure you have the resources you need to do your job. Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate you so much. It's been fun to have you on the show once again, and we're going to make sure it's not so long before you have you back.
Oh, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Well, don't touch that dial. We'll have our second segment coming up right after this break. We'll speak with Durham County Clerk to the Board of Commissioners, Monica Wallace. Stay with us.
My name is Jenna Bajwa, and I'm a paramedic with Durham County EMS. Our ambulances respond to calls from non-emergencies to advanced life support calls. The variety keeps me on my toes, and there are so many things you just don't see in other counties. The police and fire departments are integral to the overall EMS system. This partnership is vital to the success of all of our calls. I'm from Durham. I moved away for a little bit, and now with my job, I feel like I'm at home. It's who I am. I like how it's not all emergencies, it's patient care, it's public service, it's taking care of the truck, it's always being ready, it's face-to-face contact. Patient care is public service, and that's important to me. We get so much experience handling such a wide variety of situations that 2 years in Durham might equal 10 years somewhere else. Durham EMS is the right place for me. I can't imagine being anywhere else.
The heart of Durham, we keep it beating.
Welcome back to More in Touch. We are pleased to be joined by Monica Wallace, our Durham County Clerk to the Board of Commissioners. It's so great to have you with us today, Monica. Welcome.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here.
Great. We're going to have fun, I promise. First of all, if you wouldn't mind telling our viewers how long you've been with Durham County Government and what was your first position?
I have been with Durham County. It will be 9 years in September. I came on in 2013 as a administrative assistant in the clerk's office. So I started from ground zero and I've worked my way up.
Look at you on top of the ladder. When were you appointed as our clerk to the board?
I was appointed May of 2019.
Right before the pandemic.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I took an interim role back in December of 2018 and I was appointed in May.
So I can imagine there is a lot of training that goes into becoming a clerk to the board. Tell us a little bit about the training and certification that's needed. I know it's very challenging work.
It definitely is. Prior to becoming clerk, I actually took the North Carolina Certified County Clerk certification. And I took that through the Clerks Association, which is a part of the NCACC. And it is I believe it's about a 6 to 8 week course. It is spread out, and we take it, at the time it was in person at the School of Government.
Yeah.
But that is one of our requirements, one of the requirements for becoming a clerk, along with being notary, and just making sure that you stay up to date on a lot of the courses and so forth, to make sure that you're trained and just basic knowledge, additional knowledge.
Yeah, because it's such important work, and you just have to be on top of all of the legislative changes and everything that goes on.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you and your staff have direct management of the regular and special meetings of the board. Tell us about your primary responsibilities as you work to prepare for all those meetings.
So, as you know, the regular session, work session meetings, they take place 3 times throughout the month. The regular session is the second and fourth Monday, and the work session is the first Monday of the month. Along with that preparation, we do agenda management. We are making sure that all of the items are in the system, that they are approved by the general managers, by the managers, and so forth, and they get to the board in a timely manner for review and approval. Our board does review the agenda prior to it actually being advertised, and on the meeting nights, the board is presented with all of the items, and they move forward with approval or just additional discussion.
And you know, there's a lot of paperwork involved.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and time.
Yes, yes. Also important is the creation, coordination, and maintaining of a permanent record of all of the board's actions. In other words, the minutes. How far back do our minutes go, and how are they preserved?
Oh wow, we have minutes dating back, oh my gosh, to like the early 1900s. We have minute books. All of our minutes are recorded and placed in our minute books. They are archived. So, but we do have them available. So if the public reaches out, staff reaches out, they have questions about something from the 1930s, we can definitely go back and pull that information. Those minutes at that time were handwritten, so those documents are extremely fragile, but we do have them and they are available for viewing. Of course, you cannot take them out. We cannot take or make copies of those particular ones, but you are definitely welcome to come in and take a peek at those.
Oh yeah, and it's very impressive, and I'll say those books are heavy.
Oh yeah, heavy, big, but they're meaningful. They're very, very good. They have all the knowledge and all of the history of Durham County.
That's right. That's right. So I know that there are more than 40 boards and commissions that are appointed by the commissioners every month or so. There's Women's Commission, Public Health Board, ABC Commission, Workforce Development, and so many more. What's involved in managing that important process?
So we actually start out with our vacancy listing. The vacancy listing goes out monthly. It lists all of the vacancies for each of those boards and commissions, and even some that are upcoming. So if the position is not open at that moment, and it will be available on that list. It's open for the public. We advertise it in the newspaper, on our website. Citizens can apply online, which is highly recommended, but we also have paper copies. They can be mailed or emailed to us. Our board reviews those appointments, and the appointments are made. Reviews the applications, and the appointments are made at our fourth regular session meeting of the month.
So how many staff members do you have, and what are some of their duties?
I have 3 staff members. I have a deputy clerk, Maceo Carlton, a senior staff assistant, Tanya De Los Santos, and a administrative assistant, and she is Shaughnessy Wardrick. They are the paper to the process. Maceo Carlton, he is my right hand. Anything pretty much that I can do, he has the ability to do that as well. He's my backup. He also acts as office manager in the event that I am not there. Tanya, she is our boards and commissions guru. She's the go-to person for that, but she also handles our work session meetings. Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy is our admin. She's our go-to point person, making sure that filing, office ordering. She also assists with boards and commissions. She acts as the backup for Tanya. She also assists with minutes for additional meetings, such as crime cabinet. When we were bouncing off with the city during our safety wellness task force, she was also a minute keeper for that. Everybody in the office is a very integral part of the clerk's team. We all are a big happy family, and we make sure that things are taken care of for the office, for the county, and for the commissioners.
And you guys do a great job. Yes,
Thank you very
yes.
much. Thank you.
So, how did the pandemic change your responsibilities, particularly now as we are meeting on a virtual platform? And what happens with public comments? Because, people used to be able to come to the meetings and make their comments.
Correct. Yeah, so virtual, since the pandemic, of course, along with everything else that's taking place, virtual meetings and just the changes to making sure that we are in line with state requirements, it has been a challenge. We have not had an in-person meeting since March of 2020. During this time, of course, with virtual meetings, everything is online. That includes, making sure that the commissioners have the access and are able to understand the whole virtual process. That was a challenge in itself. With regards to the citizen comments, of course, prior to COVID, it was in person. However, now we are accepting comments via email. We do have, it's a part of our news release that goes out prior to our meeting. We do ask the public to submit those comments to me before the Sunday before the meeting. By a 2:00 deadline. They're asked to include their name and their address. And once those comments are received, they are read live during the meeting. They're also emailed to each commissioner as well as our executive leadership. And they're published in our minutes, and they're added to our website.
Very good. Very good. So it's important that people know they still have their platform to reach out to our commissioners.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So I know, people are interested in knowing if we plan to go back to meetings in person. And if we do meet in person, what would be involved in making that decision and what would need to be done?
Yes, so the commissioners are really weighing the option of moving back to in person. There is, like you said, a lot that goes in that process, making sure that we remain within the 6 feet distance space. We have gone ahead and met those requirements with our commissioners' chambers. Our dais where the commissioners, the county attorney, and the county manager sit, we do have spacing there to separate each person. We have spacers along the sides as well, and our audience space, which generally seats 155 people, due to COVID and the 6 feet requirement, it will only seat about 18 individuals now. We also have met with our general services team, and in our lobby area. We have spaced out that as well. So we will have chairs available in the lobby. They will sit about 10 to 12 people. And we do also have the monitors in the lobby set so that those that happen to be in the lobby will still be able to view the meeting live.
Right. So it sounds like we've done everything that we can to be able to move back into in person, but to do it safely.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we've also reached out to make sure that we do our temperature checks, make sure that we have hand sanitizer, that we're wiping down spaces. So we want to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row once we're ready to move back in person.
Well, we're about out of time. How can people get in touch with you for more information about your work?
I can be emailed at clerk@dconc.gov. Give me a call, 919-560-0025.
Awesome. Well, Monica Wallace, we want to thank you so much for your time and thank you for all that you do for our residents. We just appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Well, that wraps up today's show. We thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on In Touch with Durham County. Cheers.